Hi, this is Sarah, the Stitchin Mommy, and it's Monday, September 8th, 2025, here for my weekly cross-stitch update. First off, I have some birthday goodies that I received this weekend. Had a great birthday weekend. Went out to dinner with my family on Saturday. Lots of stitchy time on Sunday. Chatted with my mom and sister and aunt and uncle. They were all together on my birthday, so that was nice. Smokey is here with us today. Yeah. So I had not everything I got was stitchy related, but I thought I would share a few things. One was this fun pouch. That's very true. I cross-stitched past my bedtime, and it's, you know, it's cute. I think it's got like a little bit of a flat bottom on it. So I could put a small project in this or other things for travel. I thought that was really cute. And then I also have these little small bags. They're even smaller than this one. And they're perfect size for like this tiny mill hill. Fits in here for travel. Can take it along. That's pretty fun. Hi, you're gonna hang out with my projects? Yeah, it's not a very helpful spot. Now I can't put all my stuff there. And I also thought maybe coupons in my purse, that sort of thing. But I know for tiny travel projects, these could be really fun. They're very small. There was like a 3-pack. My daughter made me a homemade cross-stitch needle minder. She stitched this on some scrap Ada that I had given her for her stash. Made the little flower motif up as she went. She didn't even draw a pattern. She just started stitching. And then glued it to a button. So now I will be gluing a magnet to the back and using it as a needle minder. So that's really fun. She's very creative and like wanting to do stuff with her hands. My husband got me this star hardware that I'm planning to finish my heirloom nativity sampler on, because I have a spot on the wall where it could go. We currently have like a wrought iron artwork thing in this long and skinny, so I think this will be perfect for during the Christmas season. I'll switch it out. So I am excited about that. I'll show you again when it's actually fully finished. We'll see when that happens. And then I got a lovely gift card to 123 Stitch, which I just spent this morning, and I spent it on PDF, so I have them already. I had this on my wish list from Joan Elliott, A Year in Stitches, so I went ahead and picked this up in a PDF. It's already in Pattern Keeper. Perfect, perfect, perfect. So this is a monochromatic piece, which I thought was super cute. It's got a little thing for each month, plus some letters and numbers. So I have, you know, a variety of fun fabrics that could be fun to do something like this on. So I thought that'd be fun. And potentially down the road, I have probably not this coming year, but eventually I could maybe have this be a travel stitch where I try to finish the block, you know, in each month. And then if I finish it early, I can work on some of the sampler bits. So I don't know, we'll see. And then when I noticed, oh yeah, this is a PDF, I have been wanting to get a different Joan Elliott PDF so that I can work on my current WIP in Pattern Keeper. So I picked up the PDF of a Dorothy Lady. I have the physical one already, so I didn't print out the cover page. But this is, I now have this in Pattern Keeper too. So I'm excited about that, and was just right. So thank you, you know who you are, who gave me the gift card. So I'm really happy about those things. I guess we can jump into travel stitching. I've been working on poppies in the car. This is by It's So Emma. Find these at the Fat Quarter Shop. It's part of their seed packet series. So this is, I forget how many of these I've been doing. This is where I've gotten to. Feels like not as much progress on this as in the past, but it's still progress. I had some issues with the color, so I'll explain that in a second. This is 25 Count Sand Dollar by Stitch Me. And the title, don't eat that, kitty. The title is finished, so I'm starting the border. This medium colored red, I thought would be more contrasty to the darker red. So now once it's in there, you can hardly see the outline. But I tried the third color that I'd picked. I just picked random stuff from my stash because I didn't have what they called for, and it's way too light. So, because the third color is for the numbers down here. So I think I'll keep it, but I was kind of hesitating and waiting, wondering if I should rip it out, pick something different. My daughter thinks I should keep it. So I think I'll probably keep it. I'll finish out some of the border and then I'll go back to the flower and finish that out. But, so these are my three colors. So, and theirs is lighter, which gave me pause because you can clearly see the outlines of their flower, but I think it's nice. It's not the same, but it's still nice. So anyways, I think I'll stick with it. So work more on that this week. So my books of the Bible piece, I usually work on in the car to and from church. However, I needed to drive separately this week, so I didn't get any done on this on Sunday. However, for the ABCingo game in the Magazine Monthly Challenge cross-stitch group on Facebook, it's bath time back there. They have, oh, did I bring that? I have my bingo board here for ABCingo. No bingos yet, but they have a 7x5 board, so we have some numbers in here along with the letters. So whenever a number is called, you're supposed to work on that many motifs of your piece. And I'm not participating officially, so when a letter is called, I'm just stitching that letter on my sampler of floor piece. And I wasn't anywhere near some good motifs to do several of them all at once. The number 5 and the number 7 were picked this week back to back. Like, I don't really want to count down to the tree, which I ended up counting down for the X and the Y later anyways, but I went ahead and put letters in on this piece instead for ABCingo. So this didn't get work on Sunday, but it did get some work this week. Finished out Jeremiah and Lame, the beginning of Lamentations. This is a Bee Stitch Me Through the Stones, 25 count, 1/1 full cross. So I didn't pull down the border like I was planning to because I was focusing on finishing a certain amount of letters, 5 on one day, 7 on the other. So, and that was actually exactly what I needed to finish a strand. So pretty cool. So I'll go back to doing the motif this coming Sunday, which is what I would have done this week if I had not had to drive separately. Because you can't stitch and drive. You can stitch and be a passenger, but you know, there are limits. I also pulled out, why did I do this? Oh, when I was I worked on the letters. While I was chatting with my mom, I was working on the books of the Bible, and I had a little bit of time left after I finished my letters. So I pulled out Secret Garden, because this hasn't been pulled out in a while. It'd be nice if it got finished this year. I'm not sure if that's possible. And my main piece for the day was my story with specialty stitches, and didn't want to do that on my call, and my Love Walta stitching is Enchanted Alphabet, which is 46 count over 2. It's dark up here when I was chatting, so I'm like, can't do that. So I pulled this out and didn't do a whole lot. I think it was just 50 stitches in the bee's wings. I just finished that one bee's wings. So this is a mystery 28 count by Live and Die LA, 1/1 full cross, called for DMC. It is now at 48.42%. So I was gonna come over here and do these flowers next, but I wanted to finish the bees because this guy still needs its wings too. So can't leave them wingless. So once the bees are done, I'll go over and do the corner flowers on the other side. But this will eventually come back out for some finished stitching, hopefully at the end of the year, with my temperature focus on finished plans in November and December. Okay, I think now we can move over to, oh, we could do the rest of the ABCingo stuff. That's right. I also ended up, because where's my Jardin Privé sampler of Fleur is the one I've been doing ABCingo. So when they call a letter, I'll try to do it. Like last week I did the G and the L, which were very close to what I'd already stitched before. I haven't done very much. I was just kind of up in this corner. I could have counted down to do some motifs on the tree, and I was like, I don't really want to count that far. Well, turns out when X and Z, these are the closest X's and Z's because the rest of these alphabets are down here, so they're even farther. I was like, what was I thinking? So I ended up counting down to these X and Z's from way up here, 40 count over 2, so I'm really hoping it's correct. I used pins, but so anyways, I can now probably count over and do some motifs in the tree when another number is called. But A is called for today, so I've already done that A, so I'll probably jump down and do that A this time. So that'll be fun. And when also because there is a P right here, but whatever day P was called, I was just overwhelmed with how many projects I needed to work on. And I had realized when I was in the car, I had just finished this P. Like the day it was called, I was working on the P, finished the P. I'm like, I actually worked on a P. So I went ahead and used that P, that one right there, for ABCingo. I counted it. And I didn't work on sampler for Fleur that day. And I said it was okay. Because I'm playing by my rules with this game, not the official rules. So it's fine if I change them, right? So here is this one now. Not a whole lot of difference, except for this X and Z down here in the little alphabet. So this is a 40 count Morganite linen by Fiber on a Whim, 1/2 full cross with a soie d'Alger conversion. And so yeah, I'll do the blue A right here today. And hopefully get a little more done on this coming week, because this past week, 2 of the calls I worked on books of the Bible, 1 of the calls I worked on my poppies, so it only got these 2. And I let's see, yeah, that's 6, 3, 4, 5. Did I miss one? Oh, I think this was called on Tuesday. I filmed on Tuesday last week, so this was called, I did it before I filmed. So that was the 6th one. So that makes sense now. Okay. So yeah, that one's fun, but I think I was too confident, I guess, in how much I had done when I planned to use this piece. Because I'm like, oh, I'll be able to hop around from where I'm starting from, but I didn't have a whole lot started. So it's ending up being a little more challenging than I expected, but it's fine. So that's all I did for ABCingo so far. And then we have the La Vuelta stitching, which is a cycling race. There it is. I'm stitching Enchanted Alphabet for a finish, stitching the number of stitches that they bike in kilometers every day. This is almost done. It's so exciting. It will be done on Sunday. I did a total of 985 stitches this week, spread out over all the days. And here is, I don't know, up. Here is where it's gotten to. I believe, okay, this is a 45 count linen in Society Time, and I'm doing it 1/2 with all the called for DMCs. And I believe the letters are done now, which is super fun. So all of these letters here at the side are done. I did the bits flying over to the dove, and I've been working on the bushes, a little bit in the butterfly, as I'm finishing colors that exist in those patches. I would just finish them there because I want to finish the color. And so it's always fun to zero out a color. So everything that was in the letters is now also done in these patches. And yesterday I just needed to get some stitches quickly, so I started the bunny. So this is fun. There's 764 stitches left. Technically, I think there's 760 kilometers remaining in the La Vuelta. So I'll be doing 4 extra at some point to make sure it gets done. At one point I thought I was gonna have a few stitches of needed beyond what was required for this project. However, when I went in to work on it, I realized there was a little bit of the C right here that I'd forgotten to chart in my WinStitch program. And so it wasn't showing up on my Pattern Keeper version. So I had to do that via the paper chart, which I counted those stitches towards my La Vuelta need for that day, whatever that was. I think that was last week. But it wasn't accounted for in my original calculations that said I would finish this just before the end of La Vuelta by a few stitches. So now it's just after, and that's fine. I actually did like just a handful of stitches over the requirement yesterday because my thread was super short. I'm like, I'm just finishing my thread. It's fine. So I'll do another like 4 stitches, maybe the day that we need to do 26. I can do them that day maybe and add and go all the way to 30. So that's fun. I'm excited to have that one almost done. When that's done, the rest of the month, starting on Monday, next Monday, I'm going to be doing temperature stitching with favorite pieces. So I'm going to pick from things in Pattern Keeper because it's just easier to have all the patterns right there. So I'm going to do things in Pattern Keeper still, but I'm going to pick just probably still 10 because I can't narrow it down to 5, but 10 patterns that are just fun, colorful things, and because it's my birthday month, so that's what I want to do, and give them 30 minutes. And they'll be assigned a digit like I've done before where the second digit of the temperature will determine which one of those 10 projects I'll work on that day for 30 minutes. So that's the plan for the rest of the month, but I'll show those next week whichever ones I pick. I mostly narrowed it down, but I think I'm going to add another one, and so I might have to kick one out of what I had thought about before. But so next week I'll show you because that'll be the first day of that system. So I'll show those next week. Okay, I think that's all like my bonus. Oh, not quite. Okay, this is crazy. I have so many like bonus stitches. It's too much. Honestly, it is too much, but it's really fun. So I'll keep doing it for now. And I shouldn't be working on this many things at the same time, but it is what it is, and I'm having fun. So we did the gridiron grind yesterday. I worked on them actually during the Broncos game yesterday, which was kind of fun. I had that suggested to me. If they had gotten more stitches than they did, I would not have been able to finish it during the game, I don't think, but I was able to because they got a medium amount of points. We started out kind of slow on offense. Our defense looked great as usual, but we eventually eked out a win, which is good, even though it wasn't pretty. And we got 20 stitches. So I needed to work 200, we got 20 points. So I worked 200 stitches on a Crazy Wonderful Owl family because this represents our family and the Broncos are our family team. So I'm putting gridiron grind stitches into this one. And I'm working in the mommy's head. I'm so excited. These colors are really pretty. So that's fun. So I worked on it for, I think we had a field goal at the beginning. So I put in 30 stitches, then set it aside, then pulled out another project and was working away until we got, I don't remember if it was another field goal or a touchdown. The next points we got, I'm like, okay, now I'll pull this one back out. And I kept stitching until I knew, and I think I was almost to the point where I was done, not quite, that we got some more points. So then I'm like, oh, well, keep going. It's a good problem to have. So that was fun. And I ended up finishing like 30 stitches after the game was over that I didn't quite get done during the game, but that was fun to work on it during the game. So this is on Picture This Plus Glacier in 28 count. I'm doing it 1/1 full cross. Yay! So I did 200 stitches even on this one. I was able to stop right wherever because it was like, there were onesies and twosies right here in the color I was working. Do I have a percentage now? Yeah, 8.04%. So I did all of my stitches were over here in Mama Owl. So super fun. I had picked a color down here and worked it up. It stopped about here. so that I could make sure that my count was right. And then I picked another color that carried it over, and there's another color in there. So it's been fun. Now I'm filling in, picking symbols from the top, the second row. And so then when all those symbols are done and worked in, I'll come back to this side like a typewriter and start picking symbols in this next row, which I don't think we'll get any of the owl over here because the owl on this side is hanging from his wing. He's like holding him up by his feet. And then I could touch the green. I can see it over here, the green owl. So I don't know. I can't remember if it's in this next row or not, but that'll be really fun to start getting. And some of these colors were also in the baby purple owl, which is right here. So I didn't get to stitch any of them. I was hesitant to go that low because then I'll have to touch it more when I'm stitching, but it's so fun. These colors are really pretty. So I'm happy about this game. It's giving this project some attention, even though it definitely took away time from the other things I could have been doing. But I'm happy I did that. And then I did also, as I put up a bonus video earlier this week, I did decide to do a very small version of the Great British Baking Show cross-stitch game that Jessie Marie Does Stuff put together. I'm not counting stitches. I'm not doing a lot of things. I'm doing literally one strand per thing that happens, except for the eliminated player, which I'll get 2 strands because I won't have any other chances to work on that one ever again. So I don't want to say names on here in case you're playing or watching the show and you don't want to be spoiled. Our episode 1 came out on Friday and we watched it on Friday and it was so fun. I had my my planner next to me, so I pulled it over whenever they had the end of the technical was the first thing that I was recording. So I'm like, okay, who's gonna get it? So then they say the last place is so-and-so. And so then I wrote them down and then they went through everybody and the first place is so-and-so. So then I wrote them down. And then not until the very end of the show then, you know, I had Star Baker and eliminated. So then after the show, we went and I went and figured out, okay, which projects did these go to? Because I have just started playing this, so I don't have them, I've already matched them up, but I don't remember who goes to what yet because it's just started. So I ended up I only did one project so far, was for the person who was eliminated, and that was Antique Shoe Collection. So I'm a little sad this won't get any more time, but I went ahead and did the equivalent of 2 strands on this one. This is a Bucilla kit that I started in college. It is old. And like I said in my video, I've decided to use my 12 oldest projects that have no known start date. They were started before social media, before I kept records. So I don't know when I started this exactly, but it's got a date of 2000. It is likely started in 2000. So it's 25 years old. I have a couple other projects that are probably started in 99. So it's among the oldest. And I worked in this shoe right here. This kit, I was cutting my threads shorter, much shorter back then than I do now. And especially since it's on 14 count, the thread doesn't go as far. So my 1 strand, which is what I designated for my goal for this game, would not give you very many stitches. So I just decided I'll do 2 strands of the short lengths that I had cut for this kit to be the equivalent of 1 strand. So what I ended up doing is I did finish the blue in this shoe, which was 3 shades of blue, but the first 2 were like most of a strand of the short strands. And then I did a third, which is a really just a little bit. And I counted that as 1 strand. And then I did 2 short kit strands of black to be the other strand. So all that to say, this is where I got to for my bake-off stitching for the person who got eliminated this week. So this is on 14 count, Antique White Aida, 2/1, full cross, all the kit materials. So I put the blue in and then the black. So the blue was 1 strand and the black was the other strand, even though it was really 2, but because these were cut pretty short. So yeah, it's a little bit. And eventually I want to probably purchased the PDF from Cooler Design Studios, so this can go into Pattern Keeper as well, and then that can help it join in the games a little bit more, and then it could see some progress a little bit faster. So the other ones that, oh, I didn't bring them to show, but I can maybe put pictures from the Flosstube Extra right here. I will also, this week, I'll be putting in one length of thread on Villa Mirabilia and Waterfall in Yosemite and Three Sisters. So those three will get one length of thread this week to sometime before Friday night. I want to get those three threads worked in, and I'm hoping to stay caught up on that. So I think that is all my bonus stitching. It's way too much. And because of that, it's hard to get my focus pieces anytime. But you know, that's the way it goes. And I'm having fun, so it's fun. They're all projects. They all need to get worked on. So I did a little bit of Lollipop, a little bit more on Lollipop. You saw on Tuesday I had already done one day on this, and I did my second day for my gift stitch this week. This is Tilton Crafts artwork by Denise Garbus. I did a little bit more than I did the first day, but so you saw 296 stitches worth of progress last time. I put in an additional 324 stitches on Tuesday. So this is 40 count Verdal 1/1 half cross. This is now at 13.29%. I pulled down some of these colors in the sky, so not, oh, those are, oh, that's a fuzz. Those aren't stitches. So yeah, it's fun. I like working on this one. It'll be even more fun next year to work on all of these for 3 days in a row in hopes of seeing a little bit more progress. So total this week, I didn't add it up, so about 600 stitches. It needs to be more than that if I want to get it done in time by the time she graduates, but so 3 days next week, next year, 3 days a month will be helpful. So I also worked on my story, which is on my Focus for a Finished Whip Go board. And I don't think this is going to get finished this year, but we'll see. If other things do get finished off the list and I need to sub stuff in, I might sub this in for more. And actually what I was thinking is I might sub it in the rest of this month and work on it all month, because my second Whip Go call for September is Enchanted Alphabet, which I am finishing before the third week shows up. So I'm just going to sub my story for Enchanted Alphabet and give it all my Wednesdays and Thursdays in September, because I didn't get hardly any work done on this. I was so sad. But I know it's coming back out again this week, and I'm like, it's going to come out again the rest of this week, the rest of this month. I'll be content with what I got done, but I will hopefully have better stitching time the next Wednesdays and Thursdays are shaping up to be quite difficult stitching days. So it's unfortunate for the Whip Go pieces because I just don't have a lot of time. So here is this one. This is a 32 count lamb's wool linen, and cross stitches are 2/2, but the specialty stitches are either 1 or 2 strands depending on what they are. These are the Hungarian stitches, which are like alternating, like satin stitches that alternate the direction they're going. And I'm using a highly variegated thread. It was actually a DMC variegated because I didn't have anything close to the widely variegated style that they called for. I don't think any of my threads are called for. This is all from Stash, just similar to what's called for. So there's some white stitches and some beads that need to go in between these. So this little motif isn't even done yet. I was hoping to finish this and do the little queen stitch strawberry this last week, and that did not happen. I was lucky to get that part that far. So hopefully I can make a little more progress this week. So we'll see. Wish me luck. And then on Friday, I pulled out a former birthday start of Tea and Books. And this is a restart with a different designer. I started with Heaven and Earth Designs version, and now I'm switching over to Pain Free Crafts. I have taken the background out in Pattern Keeper and I'm just stitching the foreground area. I thought I had frogged everything from the old version, but I realized I had not. So the handle and the butterfly from last time that you saw in my previous picture from last week were Heaven and Earth Designs version. And I can't keep them in there for two reasons. One, it wouldn't line up right because the size of the pattern is slightly different. So it just wouldn't. I'm keeping the steam from the old one, and I just lined up the cup under the steam that I didn't want to. I figured it's steam is steam. It's fine. I only did one color of the steam on the Haid version anyways, because I just figured the white is all you're going to see on my fabric. So I just did the white of the steam. Figured I'd leave that part and centered the cup under that. But it's not going to line up. The current cup and the old cup aren't going to line up. And the colors, the whole reason I'm restarting is the colors are a lot darker in the Heaven and Earth Designs version, and I want the brighter colors on the butterfly and the cup handle and all of that. So I decided I did one length of thread on the new section, and then I started frogging the old section. So this is a 40 count Verdal in Days Gone by Silk Weaver. I think it was a gift fabric. It's 1/1 half cross, so it's very tiny, but I think it'll be nice on this fabric and will eliminate the need to do the background. So I did one length of thread in the cup. It was like a gray color. That has a little more definition now. And then I frogged the handle, which took a little while, and I didn't really get anything unpicked of the butterfly, but maybe a couple stitches. But the handle is gone now, and then I can work on the butterfly. What I'm noticing is, this is 1/1 on 40 count. It's hard to frog. If you weren't, you would probably be aware of that. That makes sense. So I'm gonna try to leave this out and do little bits here and there in the daylight where it's super, like a lot easier to see, and just try to chip away at it little by little when I'm not planning to work on it, because so that when I do come and bring it out again, it's just ready to go, move forward. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna leave it out, and every little bit I'll pick out a little bit more, and whenever I have some time in the morning with nice bright light, I'm gonna get that finished, get the frogging finished, so I can move forward with that one. But I did do 192 stitches on that teacup rim, and it's now at 49.48% if you include all the background I've taken out already. So that's fine. Not too shabby. And then I had my first new start of September, because I have no business starting new things, but I am doing it anyways. This is Mini Hummingbird in Roses by Heaven and Earth Designs, artwork by Oleg Gavrilov. He's the same artist who does the Sunny Birds pattern I'm doing with the peacocks, so this is fun. I like his stuff. It's very soft and colorful. Doing Wild Bouquet by Be Stitch Me, which is a super fun fabric. I'll have a lot of border, but it'll be fine, because if this is ever done, it'll be nice to have more border, like around the edge, to see all the pretty colors in this fabric. So here's my start. I got, oh, I didn't count it up. So 237 stitches, I think. It is now, including the background I removed manually, it's at 46.63%, which again is, you know, not a realistic thing, but it's fun. So this is the top bud in the middle. And then I actually, one of the stitches, one of the colors, this is a gap right here, but I counted over, I didn't carry, and that's the back of the hummingbird's head, and this goes up the beak. So this is his long skinny beak right here. So I am picking symbols. Right here is the top row, and so that actually is done now. I still have some of one of this color, the colors on my needle that I can finish, but I will be picking symbols top to bottom, left to right, and I'm excited about that. So this one is the one I think will join my birthday favorites temperature stitching choices to give it a little bit better start. Because there's, I mean, it's an okay start, but it's still not great. I did like it though, like the colors flow nicely, and being a mini, you know, you see stuff right away. So I was pretty happy with that. So I will probably be bringing this out. I'll be assigning it a digit for my temperature stitching starting next week. So hopefully it will get called a few times and can get a few more stitches. That'll be nice. I did that 2 days on that, but like the second day was only 55 stitches, which is sad because Sunday I was working on all the things. But that's all right. That was fun to work on all the things. So plans. This coming week, we'll switch things up a little bit. We'll have my gift stitch will be Beachcomber by Lindy Stitches. And this one is a gift, will be a gift for my mom. So here's my starting point on this one. I'm working in the text box. This is 40 count raw linen in 1/2 full cross. And I decided not to fill in the text box. So once the letters are done, I can do the waves down here and just keep going with all the little motifs down here. So that's fun. And I might try to add in my parents' initials in there at some point. I don't know that I'll get that far this time, but you know, never know. That'll get 2 days. And then my story will get 2 more days, hopefully some time on it. I'll continue to work on Enchanted Alphabet for Love Walta, obviously. So in little bits throughout the week. We have a rest day today. So I will probably try to knock out 1 or 2 Great British Baking Show strands today. We'll see. This afternoon if I have some time. And then this weekend, I'm going to my non-full coverage and full coverage pieces that I want to just get at least 1 day of attention. I've picked some former birthday starts. The first one is going to be Garden Prelude by Mirabilia. This was a former birthday start. I think I started this with Dawn, Frosty X Stitch. She pulled out her tea and books as well the day I did mine, because that was another one that we started together. We're birthday month buddies. And and Erica Stitchy Reese Pieces is a birthday buddy of mine too. So she has the exact same birthday as me. So that's fun. I didn't know that before. Oh yeah, here's the starting point on Garden Prelude. So this one is a wide one. This is a color and cotton, looks like a 32 count even weave in something, let's see, Wedgwood. It's a 32 count Lugana in Wedgwood. So I have the top arches finished. I don't have any of the, well, I do have some flowers started. I think I wanted to try to figure out how those all would look, because I am stitching with some fancy flosses that I found in my stash instead of the water lilies that are called for. Because it's just flowers. I figured I don't need the exact shades for flowers. So I'll probably work on some dress. Because dress, I could probably get some big chunks. I think her hair and arms and violin are all finished. So I'll probably work on dress. Possibly flowers, but I think it might be easier to get some chunks of color in on her dress. And there's a lot of her dress, so it could use some attention. So just 1 day on that. And then the next day, the full coverage that I want to pull out for 1 day was also a former birthday start, is Delightful Waltz. There it is, from Artisy. This is the large version because I just liked the details a little bit better, and it's very flowy and not detailed, but I did like that version. And I know Shiloh over at X Stitch MD, she finished the small version of this and it looks amazing. I think she finished it. She's either already finished it or it's like well on its way, because it was a mini, she was just blowing through it and it looks amazing. But I am happy with my large version, and I'm stitching it on very small fabric so that it won't end up being super large. And large for Artisy is not that large compared to like Heavener Designs. It's a pretty small one. This is 40 count linen in Silvery Moon or something maybe. Super pretty colors. So I'll give that one day. Hopefully I can get some nice attention on that. I like the colors on that one. Did I say? Yeah, Silver Moon linen by Zweigart. And then I'm gonna start back up on Seasonal Sunday because I did my new start on the 6th because it was National Hummingbird Day, so I had to, right? I worked on that the 6th and the 7th. I didn't do Seasonal Sunday this week, but I will start my Seasonal Sunday rotation on all floral cross and see what I can get done. Sundays are now shaping up to be a little full when I have added my gridiron grind stuff, but I don't have to finish gridiron grind on Sunday, so I can just do a little and like maybe whatever I get done during the game and then do the rest of the week. And this, to make sure this gets some time. This was a physical copy from Everything Cross Stitch because I have the other 3 in the, I think it's Janlin kits or Busila kits when they were kits. They're not kits anymore. You can't find them anymore. But then I got the Everything Cross Stitch version of this and just kitted it up myself. It's 14 count Fiddler's Ada because everything else was on an Ada and they're all different colors. So that I figured this would be a good one for fall. Started in the middle, worked my way up, and then I'm fully completing from the top down. Not a whole lot is done on this one, but hopefully I can make some nice progress on it this month. It should get 3 or 4 days. We'll see. We'll see how much I can do. So that's that one. And that's all I think that I have to share with you. There's Smokey sleeping back there. And that was a lot. That was a lot of things. So I think it'll be fun. And next couple weeks, I'll have some more birthday starts coming up. But this week, I'll just do the birthday whips. And that's going to be fun too. So to revisit some of those. I hope you have a wonderful week of cross-stitching and crafting and whatever you do in September. And have a wonderful week and happy stitching. Bye.